system in place to keep us in chains. By a show of hands, who else is sick and tired of the same 1%? Trying to keep us small, trying to keep us from getting out. Minimizing the struggles they've caused, saying we're not working hard enough.
We really should stop this fighting. Otherwise, we'll miss the fireworks.
There won't be any fireworks.
And here we go.
And welcome everybody to Suck It. I am the great and powerful King of Kings, Prince of all that is awesome. Derek, how are you today? Whew. I don't even know what day it is, to be honest with you. It's Friday now for me, but what day this will be uploaded and for you guys to listen to is beyond me. So whatever day it is to you, please be safe and happy out there. But we've had a great couple weeks here. Lots of interesting topics, lots of interesting conversations with everybody from psychics and neuropathic doctors and authors and therapists and everything else in between. It's just been insane and amazing as far as what we've accomplished here, by focusing on the mental health aspect of things and the mind, body, and soul like we've been talking about. So I'm very, very, very happy with the outcome of it all. Next week, I promise you guys, we're going to go back to some more music and some more comedy and stuff like that. But this type of focus is not going to go away. We'll still be having lots of different types of people on, and it's not just going to be strictly bands anymore. So just prepare for that change as we go into next week. But tonight, we have another fantastic guest with us. She is the co-founder of an international women's fitness retreat and an online coaching program. And an online coaching program. You get it live. I don't do any edits, so this is how it is. Sorry. That approaches weight loss by first getting the mindset right and allowing the rest to follow. So we're going to go into this and a whole bunch more because this is just a brief synopsis of who she is. She does a lot more than this. We're going to go into all this and more with my guest tonight, Miss Whitney Gee. Hey, how are you?
Hey, Derek. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Hey, no problem. My pleasure. My pleasure. Especially when I get a chance to talk to somebody, basically halfway across the world. It's fantastic.
The gift of technology. It's a beautiful world.
Exactly. Whereabouts are you in Hawaii?
I'm on the Big Island right now. So I'm typically traveling the world with work. And so I was in South Africa when COVID broke and my parents were like, please come home. And I was like, no, it's cool. I'll just stay. I'll stay here. Everything will ride out, And a year later, here I am still based in America, which I've been living nomadically for the last 5 years. So I never thought this day would come, but it's been quite a change as we've all seen with COVID.
Yeah, my brother lived in Kauai for about 2 years as a diving instructor. And last year when COVID hit, everything shut down. He was like, I have no work. So he ended up moving back to Florida. But yeah, he loved it there. And I sent my daughter there a couple years ago and she absolutely loved it too. I've never been myself, but I can only imagine.
What a good dad. Send your daughter over.
Yeah, no, I had the opportunity to go. It was like, I can't go, but you can go. And she's like, okay, cool.
Bye, Dad.
Heck yeah, she had to spend a week in Hawaii with my crazy brother. That's a great little summer present.
Nice.
So anyway, so why don't you go ahead and tell everybody a little bit about yourself? I know I just kind of went into it a little bit, but tell everybody a little about yourself and what you do exactly.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I was like probably most of us where I was doing the corporate grind right out of college. I started working in my, chosen field that I studied. And so I was in renewable energy and I was just on the grind, And I was working multiple jobs because I was trying to pay off my student debt. And I had this dream of traveling the world, and I was just willing to do anything it took to get myself there. And then we had some political changes, shall I say. And so it came to the point where environmentalism and renewable energy wasn't really being supported. So I felt like it was a message from the universe that it was time to kind of set sail and travel the world. And so that first year, I, sold everything, liquidated my assets, got a teeny tiny little storage unit, and I did 18 countries in 1 year.
Wow.
I I had a fire lit under me where I wanted to see as much as I could before I felt like corporate America would take me back in. And during that journey, I really, I started studying in India and Southeast Asia and really diving in deeper into Eastern philosophies and really recognizing like, hey, there's something more that we're missing here in our typical Western approach to health and wellness. It's not just about diet, and it's just not just about how much you can work out and how many calories you can burn. It's about other aspects that we're really missing here. So it kind of set me on this course of self-discovery. And I think those are the best ones where people are able to test it on themselves first. And at the very end of my journey, I serendipitously met this beautiful soul who would become my business partner. We happened to be birthday twins, and we had both really strong passions about helping women, predominantly minority women who are underserved in the health and wellness industry, connect with holistic wellness and really kind of speaking this truth about, hey, you can attain your goals without caloric deprivation and extremes and all these crazy things that the fitness industry puts people through. Mm-hmm. So long story long, fast forward 4 years, my business partner and I have been hosting wellness retreats on 4 different continents, including Bali, Thailand, Greece, Southeast Asia, Colombia. It's just been such a whirlwind and an absolute blast to change people's lives through the sense of adventure, self-love, and compassion. And COVID hit, and I think all of us small business owners were like, okay, buckle up. How are you going to pivot? What are you going to do in this new space? So we really transitioned a lot of our energy into online coaching programs, which I think is something that all of us need. A lot of us don't have gyms still a year later into COVID almost. Yeah. And how do you connect with health and wellness when your refrigerator is sitting right next to your desk? How do you connect with health and wellness with your family members all around you? And you have all of these different unique pressures on us in society, and how do we put health and wellness at the forefront of that? And it's an interesting dichotomy, I feel like, where health and wellness has never been more on the forefront of our minds and yet unachievable for X, Y, and Z. So we put together a coaching program that's really focused towards women on helping them lower those barriers to entry of how they can implement sustainable wellness, even in small bits, into anybody's schedule, anybody's day-to-day life. So that's really what I'm passionate about. That's what I'm focusing on. My personal life, I'm stranded here in Hawaii and just trying to make the best of it.
That is quite a career turn.
Yeah.
From renewable energy to health and wellness. I mean, I can definitely understand because I'm right here in the thick of it all. There's still coal mining today, and right near where I live. Up in West Virginia, and I can definitely understand why you made that change, because that was a huge hit to this country, huge. But hopefully with some changes, we'll be going back to that soon. Let's hope. But I digress. That's not what we're here to talk about. However, I just found it very interesting. But you said a lot of things there that are very, very accurate. Because it's not just about, when you say health and wellness, and when you say dieting, when you say that, it's not about one thing. It's about multiple aspects of things. Because, say for instance, you're just somebody that's not overweight, you're pretty healthy, but your mind is screwed, but you're like, you know what, I want to go ahead and train for a marathon, but your mind is all screwed up. You're never going to get the stuff to get to that point. Or if you are 400 pounds, and your mind is not right because, I got to have my Cheetos every day, or I got to have my vanilla ice cream every day, whatever the case might be, whatever it is, or, I'm sorry, I'm poor, I can only afford going to McDonald's every day, or whatever the case might be. That mindset. And, it can be contributed by anxiety or depression or many different things. And I like how you're incorporating it all together, because I mean, you use a lot of different techniques in your retreats, such as yoga and other things like that, which I think are really, really cool. So how is all that translating now into, you know, web facing? I can't even freaking talk today. I have done 15 interviews this week. I am exhausted. How is it, the web conferencing? That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Derek, I would love to give you, because I feel like you're in this zone that so many of us are. We are like Zoom meeting nauseum. So I'd love for all of us, you guys listening in, Derek, you as well, just take a big inhalation through your nose right now. Exhale out the mouth audibly. That is like honey on the skin. That is like a hug. And that's what we need more and more of in the society, is to realize that we can take a pause. I think within our current pace of life, it's instantaneous. It's do this, it's do that, and it's go, go, go. So I think even with what we're doing, it's not as touchy-feely. It's not as amazing. Like, we can't take you to an amazing beach in Bali right now and have you have that transformational life experience. But what we can do is get you together with a group of like-minded people. So really what we concentrate within our programs, and if you are listening to this and you're looking for how can I connect with health and wellness, is really to find accountability. They've actually done scientific studies that show you're 60% more likely to achieve a goal if you've got accountability. So you've got to surround yourself with people that can really help you elevate. So if you see people with you that are out there getting their steps, that they're moving despite whatever weather they are, and the beautiful thing about our programs, we've got people all over the world that's like, hey, it's snowing here today, but I'm still moving my body. Or, hey, all the restaurants are closed. I can't even go to the grocery store one time a week, but I'm still finding ways that I can cook healthy food with the access to things that I do have. So it's really just about sharing community and sharing this idea that no matter what, the human spirit is so incredibly resilient. And I love that you touch on the mindset stuff, because the mindset sometimes creates these self-limiting beliefs. I can't do it. I don't have time. And we repeat these narratives over and over and over until they become a reality. And so oftentimes, if we can kind of break that pattern and can say, hold on, I'm the master of my own life. I can decide what I do and do not have time for. I can make tiny switches and say, not I don't have time for, it's I don't value. If you're saying that I can't make myself my own meals that are healthy and nutritious, it's I don't value feeding myself nourishing things. And if you can say that, it's like, whoa, hold on, I want to be the person that creates that value for myself. And so we can kind of, with small little switches, change that rhetoric. And our programs and a lot of what we're doing in the industry is like, it doesn't have to be this crazy crash diet where we're going to cut out all carbs and make life terrible. It could be small things like, hey, you know what? Instead of 5 sodas, I'm going to go for 4 sodas. Then I'm going to go to 3 sodas. I'm going to slowly work my way down. I'm going to swap them out for soda water, for something I really enjoy. And we can really work with the psychology of the human mind in order to make it not feel like such a huge deprivation. It can feel like an enjoyable journey. And if we can do that, then it can really be consistent. And that can translate across a computer, which I think is so beautiful, and that we're utilizing technology in order for people to be able to connect with health and wellness from the comfort of their own home.
That's pretty amazing. Because you're right. When it comes to the mind, it is untapped. As far as the resource goes, there's still so much we don't understand. There's still so much that we're learning on a daily basis about our minds. And when you can tap into the spirituality of it, the metaphysical, or whatever you want to call it, and use it to help cure yourself of whatever bullshit you got going on in the world today. Whether it's, again, anxiety, depression, fear, whatever. Using that to your advantage to actually harness the power of it and actually use it for good. And I like that. That's interesting. So how does... And I already know the answer to this question. However, I'm going to ask it anyway, just because I kind of know where you're going to go with it. How does all of this result in weight loss?
Absolutely. I think a lot of times kind of drawing all these ideas in together is that we start creating these, we have voids within our life, right? We're not getting enough love, we're not getting enough attention. Within our society, we constantly push ourselves away. You know, I don't need to listen to myself. I'm tired. Well, guess what? Drink a coffee, strap up, and get to work. Like, we're always telling ourselves no and pushing things away. Food is comfort. We are biologically designed to love food. It's a survival mechanism. And the more satiating and fatty and tasty those foods are, the more we feel like we're filling our heart space, the more we're feeling like, I'm going to be okay. I'm getting all these calories. My life is going to survive. So what we're trying to do is fill our cups in other ways. And one of the ways that we do this is really by finding other things to fill that void with. So we really encourage our clients, and this is something simple you guys can do that are listening, is to create a self-care list. And so maybe it's listening to music, maybe it's painting, maybe it's fostering something, you know, for a couple of minutes. And so what we really encourage you guys to do is, before grabbing that salty or that sweet snack, is to go to that self-care list and say, hey, can I fill that void with something that will actually fill my heart, that will actually satiate me? And if we can start stepping into that mindset where food isn't our automatic trigger, the thing we go to automatically, or we recognize that, hey, binging doesn't quite serve me. A lot of our clients are finding themselves in that loop of binging where you fill your void, you fill your gap. Okay, I'm not hungry anymore. That's that biological response saying, like, feed me. But then something emotional taps in where you're like, I need chocolate, I need more. And hey, at the end of the day, a lot of times it's not our fault, because the health industry or in the food industry is really designing these super satiating, tasty foods we want to overindulge with. So it's a really heady combo where we've got these emotions that are being filtered and filled without actually attaching the root cause. We're just addressing the symptoms of it. So what we're trying to do over time is get to the root cause. How can we make you feel more fulfilled, more at peace? And if we can lower all those things down, then you can be in a better response to actually having self-awareness of what it is that you need. And over time, that will lead you to have consistency within your journey, show up for yourself. And we have had clients lose 10, 20, 30, 50 pounds with this methodology, with doing simple things like I did with you, taking a deep breath. We've had clients take 3 deep breaths before they go for a food choice, and that can make all the decision and the difference in the world, because that decision isn't a split-second response anymore. It's pragmatic, it's slow, it's steady. It's really recognizing, does this serve me on my journey? Is this who I want to show up for myself being? And we can really start to change this fast-paced society into one that's a little bit more intentional with our time, a little bit more aware.
Yeah, because going back to what you originally had said, you know, for the longest time, you know, even still today in some places, you know, the government has always, you know, told us, hey, follow the food pyramid, or now it's like a food graph or whatever it is. But it's like a ridiculous amount of calories, a ridiculous amount of grains, a ridiculous amount and it's like, where does this even come from? It comes from the Department of Agriculture, which is trying to help support farmers. It's not even coming from the FDA and the, you know, or the health organizations of this country. It's coming from farmers. So, you know, and we all know how farmers like to eat. So it's like one of those things where, you know, we can't trust on what we've been taught, you know, and we've got to change our way of thinking. And I like that you're not sitting there trying to tell everybody what to eat or what, you know, how to do this for you. It is, you're trying to teach them just the right ways, and, you know, trying to break the habits and ways to offset it. And you're not sitting there saying, okay, here's the keto diet, just follow this and you'll be fine. You know, while that might work, you know, if you don't have the willpower and you don't have the strength, or you don't have the tools associated with it, you're going to fail in a week because you're going to want a freaking brownie. Mm-hmm. You know, and that's the key of it all. And I really like how you're doing that.
100%. You know, so many people find themselves on the roller coaster that is a diet crash mentality within our society. They'll start something and they'll be like, you know, January 1, I'm going to lose the weight, I'm going to do this. And so they jump onto this latest fad and craze because they see their neighbors losing weight and there's all these famous people doing it. And then you can't sustain it. You haven't done the mindset work. There's likely self-limiting beliefs way far back there that says you'll always be big boned, you'll be this, and you're starting to already find that roller coaster back down. And I love that you touch on the fact that that food pyramid doesn't serve us. You know, actually now I think they have a food plate and it has a cup of milk.
Yeah, whatever it is now.
Like, so crazy, like a cup of milk, where a huge proportion of society is actually lactose intolerant or lactose sensitive. So food is incredibly, you know, bio individual, where it's based upon you. And so I think so many of our clients come to us and they're like, tell me how many calories to eat, tell me exactly what to do. And they get so frustrated with us when we're like, take out a food journal. Write down how this resonates with you. How do you feel? Do you have a lot of energy? Do you have vitality? Are you kind of tired and lethargic? Like, we are a society that loves the fast-paced panacea. Give it to me, one shot, give me the pill. I want to be done, on my way. But really, with a true health and wellness revolution and transformation that transforms your lifestyle, you've got to be willing to put in the work, to do the food journal, to ask yourself that beautiful question: how does it make me feel? And go off of that information, because that's the best information you can possibly have, is what's going on internally.
Yeah, because a lot of people associate, you know, bad days and, you know, stuff like that. I had such a hard day today. God, I can't wait to go home and just stuff my face. And that's the mentality. Or my favorite one is, I'm sad, give me chocolate. and you know, that is one of the, I mean, that's, I would say, in my opinion, that's like 1 out of every 3 Americans. You know, I'm sad, give me chocolate. I mean, I have no idea where I came up with that number. I'm just giving you an example, but you know, I feel that strongly about it. I mean, in some grocery stores, you know, they will specifically put, you know, candy, you know, shippers and candy displays near, you know, like feminine hygiene, you know, things, because there were, you know, women are, I'm on my monthly, so I need to have chocolate. So grocery stores are now giving you that option right next to your freaking tampons, you know, and it's like, it's that type of mentality that we have, and the retail, you know, establishments feed on that. The Food and Drug Administration feeds on that. You know, the Agriculture Department feeds on that, and we don't know our ass from a hole in the ground 9 times out of 10. You know, we don't know, like, and on top of that, there's so many different classifications of foods when you go to the grocery store now. You know, I mean, when you go to the beef section, you've got grass-fed, you've got, you know, grass-finished, and then you've got, you know, organic, and then you've got, you know, free roaming, and it's just, there's so many. It's like, okay, just give me something without hormones. That's all I care about. And people just are like, you know, confused, because we don't understand what is going on, because it's just, it's so complicated. You know, they tell us, you know, hey, don't walk down the aisles, just shop around the outside of the store for, you know, because that's where all the fresh stuff is. Okay, cool. But I don't know how to make tomato sauce, you know? So can I still go buy my ragu, you know? And then they're like, oh, well, while I'm here, you know, oh, but wait a second, should I make fresh pasta? That's down the aisle, so I gotta get flour. Oh, but while I'm down here, oh, look, chocolate chips, you know? And that's what happens. It's amazing to me, because again, the grocery stores are set up to con you into buying whatever they want you to buy, period. I worked in retail as a retail grocery store manager for 15 years. Trust me, it's done like that on purpose. I don't care what anyone says. Yeah, we con the crap out of you. And that's just the way it is. But again, aside from everything else, what do you guys teach about food in general to help teach people, you know, the right ways, you know, to do what I'm saying?
Yes, I love that question. So I think, to your point, like, the food industry is so convoluted and complicated. For example, I think at one point there's 250 words for sugar, and now that's far exceeded that. And so you have to have a degree in chemistry at some point just to understand what's on the back of these food labels. And it's really unfortunate, because if you go down a grocery store in modern day America, most of the things that are going to be the most affordable are, you know, and the most convenient, have the biggest laundry list of ingredients possible. And so, if you are going from that convenience mindset of I don't have time, AKA I don't value my health, which, sounds really harsh, but that's the way we've been trained. That's the way we've grown up, to look at that food pyramid and say, convenience, strive for this, make time for X, Y, and Z. You got to work a 9 to 5 and do all these things. So we put ourselves in this box. And so when we're going through the grocery store, we say, got to grab all these things that are quick and convenient. But unfortunately, those foods tend to have something so much more far detrimental than the caloric intake. So yes, they tend to be really calorically high. So they're nutrient dense. They've got a ton of different ingredients in there that we can't even read. So our typical ask for our clients is go through your pantry. And I really encourage you guys to do this who are listening, is just go through your pantry. If you can't pronounce it, it's likely not going to serve you. And there's a lot of foods in there that cause inflammation in the body. And the inflammation in the body is a real big one, because the inflammation creates a lack of response for our body to respond to itself. So if it doesn't know what's going on within the body, then we get out of balance. And that's when we start to see disease on the rise, which is at an all-time high in our society. So if we can say, hey, I'm going to take 20 minutes extra each day to ensure that I have a long and healthy life for the next 40, 50, 60 years. If we can change that rhetoric within us, then we can pick up that ragu and say, canola oil, blah, blah, blah. I can't even pronounce that word, blah, 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 and put it back and say, I'm going to get some tomatoes, some garlic, and some basil. Boom, right there, those fresh herbs, they're going to be anti-inflammatory. The garlic helps boost your immunity. The tomatoes have vitality and vibrance. And so all of these things are actually going to be benefiting your life, rather than that sauce that has tons of ingredients that likely aren't going to serve you on this journey. So what we tend to do is encourage clients to get to the basics. And we really highly encourage to do meal prep. It doesn't have to be this 5-star chef, beautiful dish. It can be really simple. Prep some complex carbohydrates, brown rice, quinoa, sweet potatoes. Do it at the beginning of the week. We typically suggest people prep from Sunday and have food up until Wednesday, and then prep from Wednesday until the end of the week. So that way you're not eating a ton of leftover food. Things can kind of be fresh. What we have some of our clients do is they prep the meat each day, or the protein each day, so that's nice and fresh, but then they have kind of their veggies chopped and prepared. So there's little things that you can do within your day-to-day if you're feeling like, hey, there's no way I can find even 5 extra minutes to figure out how to make my own food. But there's little steps that we can kind of change and implement into our lives in order to say, maybe I do have time to make that red pasta sauce, and really recognize, especially those with us with friends and family and loved ones that we're cooking for, is we're giving them the gift of health. Like, that's truly a representation of our love. I think in our culture, we love to give food, sweets, candy. And my father's diabetic, so I had to change this rhetoric in my mind. Like, I know he loves chocolate or he loves sweets, but I know giving that to him is only furthering his detrimental disease, right? So what I've had to figure out is, how can I make these kind of sweet things? So I figured out how to make protein sweet potato brownies. He absolutely loves. I've had to figure out how to make little swaps that I can still love him, but love him in a way that's really going to be good for him at the same time.
Sweet potato brownies.
Oh, they are so good.
So Whitney, we have a problem now. See, I agree with everything you say, and I'm right there with you. However, brownies are like the mecca of all desserts, like the greatest thing you will ever put in your mouth if it's done right. And I don't think a sweet potato has a place in there, because, the occasional, have your cheat day on a Sunday, eat a good brownie, but sweet potato.
Why you gotta do me like that? I mean, hey, if you want to, we are all about treats, and we call them treats in our program, because we really want you to kind of enjoy life. Life is meant to be enjoyed. So if you're like Nirvana is a brownie, go for it. Enjoy it as it was meant to be enjoyed. But at the same time, I think we can take things, and for me, it's the sweet potato brownie, because it's, I can take vegan protein powder, a little bit of maple syrup, and a sweet potato, and make it into something really healthy, where I know if I give it to my dad, he's not going to go for the sweet, salty, bad for you snacks because I'm swapping that habit out. So I'm taking something that he's already going to be doing no matter what, and I'm slowly starting to help him replace that with a healthier habit. So maybe you still enjoy that brownie, but maybe it could be French fries for somebody and they love going out to McDonald's. Well, maybe we could make a at home, French fry where we cut the potato ourselves, we put it in the oven with a little bit of rosemary, salt and pepper. Delicious. That is so good. And if we could do that and get food back to the basics, we can still enjoy and love our life. Like I eat burgers, fries, pizza, I eat all the things because I make them at home and I make them healthy. So I've just figured out ways to say, hey, how can I take these things that make me have, like I want Friday night pizza night and watching a movie with Boo. Like I want that. So how can I create that while still staying on my journey? And it is so possible. And that's what we're all about, is like, how can we live our life in a healthy and vital way while still getting our goals?
I like that. I like that a lot because it doesn't sound like you restrict food. You want everybody to be as vibrant and as happy, because again, if it doesn't taste good, you're not going to stick with it. Or if it's if it's boring or whatever the case might be, it's the same thing every day, it's going to get old really, really fast. So, being able to have that freedom, but learning how to make the good choices and making sure your mind is right in that same process, is key. And I really like what you're saying, because it's something that not a lot of people say, because far too often are we turning on our television set and seeing the newest fad diet. Oh, this week it's juicing, or no, this week it's keto. No, this week it's paleo. No, this week let's do this, and then let's do this, and then here, just take these green tea pills. They'll help burn fat. Whatever. It's like, again, whether they work or whether they don't work, people go in, full force, that first day or that first week or that first month. And then it's like, oh, this is too much. This is too stupid. There's no motivation there. Just like, this month is the busiest month of the whole year to be a gym member or gym owner. They're pounding on the hope that you forget about it and you just don't come back next month, and they still get their $20, $40, $50, whatever it is. And then by the end of the year, like, oh shit, I paid for how much now? Let me cancel that now. And then they'll get you back again in January. And it's nobody's teaching the right and the wrong. They're just saying, do this. Or they'll write a book about it, but then that's about it. And nobody is going to go out and buy a book. It's 2021. I mean, make a YouTube video. I don't care. Or sell your documentary to freaking Netflix. That's how. But again, nobody's taking those extra steps because, again, nobody wants to read. If it's not there in front of their face, they don't care. And that's what's really sad, is that all those educational tools are out there. Just that people don't want to go find it. They want to just find the quickest way out and walk through that door and say, oh, look, 10 minutes ago, I weighed 200 pounds. And now look at me. I weigh 140. It's amazing what 5 minutes can do. And that's what they want, because nobody wants to put in the weight, the work to lose that weight or to lose that craving or to lose whatever's going on in your head. You just want that quick fix.
Absolutely. And I think oftentimes, within this ideology of dieting, we put food up on a pedestal. And so that whole time, we are addicted to this thing that we say, no, you can't have it. No, you can't have it. And all of a sudden we hit a breaking point where we go crazy and we just can't even take it. It's like trying to stop smoking cold turkey. Cold turkey does not work. We've got to wean ourselves off. We've got to do, habit swaps to find something a little bit healthier. And that's what we're all about, because we've had clients walk through our door that are 250 pounds and clients that are 150 pounds. And guess what? They're both unhappy in their own skin and their own body, which just shows that it's all about mindset. You could be someone else's perceived body goals, and for you feel so empty inside. So that's really what it's all about, is realizing hey, you got to figure out why you want to step into this healthy lifestyle. Is it for your kids? Is it so that you can live a long, flexible, vital life? Is it so that you can, run and jump and play and do the sports that you love? Why do you want to connect with this healthy lifestyle? If you can kind of figure that out for yourself, that really lays down the foundation to recognize it's not a number on a scale. It's not fitting into a certain dress size. It's got to be something more than that, because then you can really figure out like, this is why I'm doing it. So when stuff gets really hard, you're like, you know what? I can still rise above this. I can get back on track because this is more important to me. And I think a lot of the noise in the industry is missing that, because they're trying to sell you this perceived, the chiseled abs, the Chuck Norris, all these things. So it's like, that's not really for me. I don't need a six pack. I'm happy. And in yoga, we call it a family pack. I want a strong core. I want to be able to hold myself up. I want balance. I want to do all these other things. I don't really care about having a six pack. It would be nice, it would be cool, but is not going to fulfill me in the way that I need an actual healthy and vibrant lifestyle to fulfill me.
That's it. I mean, that's really what again, at the end of the day, that's really it. Because the thing about it is it needs to be fulfilling for you. Because, the thing we focus on most here is mental health. And, whether you're depressed, bipolar, schizophrenic, whatever the case might be, when you're having those days, when you're having those issues, the majority of us, not all of us, the majority of us do turn to food. And then that becomes a crutch when you're feeling down and when you're having a depressed day or a manic day or whatever the case might be. And we're constantly using that as a crutch. Oh, well, all I just need to do is I just need to drink this beer and I'll feel better. I just need to have this piece of chocolate. I just need to have this, whatever. And that's not what's going to fulfill you. The fulfillment comes from being able to say that you accomplished a goal. And like you said, you don't have to want to be a Chuck Norris, roundhouse kicking ass motherfucker. You don't have to be that guy. You don't have to be the guy with the six pack. You don't have to be the guy with that, the perfect V abs at, whatever. That's fine. It's about what makes you feel whole at the end of the day. When you can just wake up and say, I don't need this, I don't need this, I don't need this. This is how I am, and I'm perfect the way I am. Once you get to that point, then your life becomes semi-normal, because you're still going to have the negative energy coming at you every day, but it's you that's going to be able to fight off that energy with the proper way versus just saying, oh crap, I can't wait to get home and scarf my face, and it's how do we find the way to do that is the question. And I love what you're doing. I love that you have incorporated so many different things in with it that it doesn't feel like a chore. Most diets and most things that we do to help cure us, feel very chore-y. Even some diets. Oh, let me log onto my Weight Watcher app today and find out how many points I have left. Oh, I don't have any points. Okay, so let me see here. I only got 4 points left. What can I eat for dinner to make sure I have something in my stomach? Oh, let me search 4-point things. Oh, kale. And then it's like, I don't want to eat kale. And you're like, screw this freaking app. I want chocolate. And that's, again, not how it works. But I love what you do and what you teach. It just makes a whole hell of a lot more sense than what we've been taught to this point.
Yeah, we've had clients lose 50 pounds by walking around their block. Like, it does not, we have to get out of this mentality of like, oh, this guy lost all this weight because he went for, running every day when we have the Jared Subway guy, he did this thing, so that's what I got to do. It's like, if you don't find joy in the process, if you're not moving in ways that you enjoy, eating foods that you enjoy, well, guess what? You'll probably fall off of it. So it's all about, working out gives you endorphins. It makes you feel good. It makes you feel empowered. So figure out a way to move that brings you joy. Figure out foods that taste good and are satiating to you that you can kind of tweak a little bit to say, hey, maybe I don't need the McDonald's French fry, maybe I can have that baked fry like we talked about. So finding those small little things. Let me drink some water. Instead of always having, the double-ounce slushy gulp next to my desk, maybe I'll have that next to some water. And maybe I'll kind of switch back and forth for a while. And then maybe I'll swap that out, make it a little bit smaller and smaller. So over time, it's all about being compassionate with yourself. Like, you are going to be on this journey for the next 10, 20, 30, 50 years, for the entirety of your life. Like, once you have the chiseled six-pack abs, guess what? That guy's going to do an ultra marathon. Like, people always have goals. They always want to evolve. And that's that's what makes life so beautiful. But what we've got to recognize is that we have to be patient and compassionate with ourselves in this moment while we're on the journey, so we can actually enjoy the process, because none of us know how long we have, so we might as well enjoy the ride.
Absolutely. And that's what, at the end of the day, what life is all about is what is, living your best life. That's it, and you're not going to have your best life if you're constantly having to go to the doctors for, cardiac issues or diabetes or whatever the case might be. Find your happiness now, and then do everything you can to keep it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whitney, where can everyone find out more about you and your company?
Yeah, great question. I love it. You can find us, we're The Whole Experience Inc. So you can find us online. We're at The Whole Experience on Instagram, Facebook. We are all over the place. And we actually have a 7-day free trial. So any ladies listening or gentlemen with family members that think this process might resonate with them, please check us out. Come and get your 7-day free trial and just try it on for size. Like we're saying with this whole thing, every body is different with an exclamation mark. So you got to find that system that works for you. And maybe we're not your cup of tea, and we understand that, but we want to give you the opportunity to try it out. So there's never been a better time just to dip your toe into a lot of different pools and say, like, hey, Weight Watchers, that's not for me. Hey, ketosis, heck no. So find the different thing, but we're The Whole Experience. Find us and come drop us a line. We're an open book. You can leave your questions with us, and then we're more than happy, because we're here on this planet to help spread a word of holistic empowerment and really recognize that we can figure out a different way than boiled chicken and broccoli every day.
Exactly. And all the links for Whitney and everything that she just mentioned is in the description of the video and the podcast. So please click them, take a look, sign up for that 7-day free trial. And trust me, it doesn't sound like you're going to regret it in any which way, shape, or form. At this point in time, I wished I was a woman so I could do it. But no, you're so amazing, and I love what you're doing. And I hope that it continues to be, strong and everything else like that for you guys. And I hope that, you guys can change, lots of different women's lives.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. And I really appreciate what you're doing as well. It's always inspiring to hear people that are out there talking about some of the more harder discussions to have, and holding space for people to come together and just share these beautiful ideas. So I appreciate you, and I see what you're doing out there.
I appreciate that very, very much. Thank you. So guys, again, everybody click the links in the description of the video or podcast. Check out Whitney and everything else like that. But until later, you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for being here. We will talk at you again tomorrow. I love you guys. Peace.